In February 2026, Block executed one of the sharpest corporate restructurings in recent tech history. Within hours, 4,000 employees were removed from the company's roster. That single cut eliminated 40. By mapping Dorsey's proposed AI pipeline directly over the Tang Dynasty's imperial architecture, we can locate a severe, structural blind spot in Block's new model. To understand why Dorsey wants to eliminate hierarchy, we have to look at why it exists in the first place. Corporate layers are not born out of a preference for bureaucracy. They are a structural workaround for human cognitive limits. The Roman legions mapped this constraint empirically through rapid military expansion. They codified a concept known as span of control. This network diagram illustrates the biological problem. An average human brain can effectively track the tasks, blockers, and resources of 3 to 8 direct reports. When a single leader attempts to manage 50 subordinates directly, the cognitive bandwidth is overwhelmed and coordination fails. The Roman solution was the contubernium, a foundational squad of exactly 8 soldiers. These 8-man squads reported to a centurion, and centurions to a tribune. The system stacked upward, creating a mechanism for routing information without exceeding the biological processing limit of any single commander. Every major corporate org chart relies on this exact human routing mechanism. Dorsey's restructuring at Block attempts to substitute human managers with AI agents, aiming to finally bypass that Roman biological bottleneck entirely. Dorsey and Botha's manifesto operates on a strict premise. A middle manager's primary function is moving information up and down the chain. If an AI system handles that routing, the human relay node becomes unnecessary. This diagram outlines their proposed solution. At the base is the company world model. Instead of relying on weekly syncs, this AI continuously ingests internal company operations to maintain a real-time state of the business. For this to function, human employees must convert all their work into machine-readable formats. Every decision, design, and line of code must be documented in text so the AI can track the organization's true capabilities. Above that sits the customer world model. Because Block owns both Cash App and Square, this layer bypasses traditional user research by directly analyzing millions of live financial transactions. Users often provide aspirational answers on product surveys, but their spending habits offer an unfiltered, empirical signal of actual market demand. Finally, the intelligence layer serves as the decision engine. It pulls internal capabilities from the first layer, pairs them with market demand from the second layer, and computes the optimal action to execute. Together, these 3 AI models form an automated one-way execution path. They ingest customer behavior and output an active priority list for engineers. This structural approach to processing information at scale is not a modern innovation. In 618 AD, Emperor Gaozu of Tang established a governance architecture to manage a population of 50 million people. This schematic illustrates the Tang system, known as the 3 departments and 6 ministries. It strictly separated imperial power into 3 isolated branches: a department for drafting policy, one for reviewing it, and a third for executing it. The execution department was further divided into the 6 ministries. Each ministry operated entirely within its own domain, without requiring cross-departmental coordination for routine tasks. It functioned precisely like bounded contexts in modern software microservices. The required flow of information, from initial draft to mandatory independent review to final execution, maps directly onto the modern engineering workflow of opening a pull request and requiring code review before merging. By forcing raw information to pass through rigid, structural checkpoints before it could become state action, the Tang architecture maintained stability and outlasted competing governance models for over a millennium. If we take Dorsey's proposed AI framework and overlay it onto the Tang Dynasty's flowchart, the structural parallels become obvious, and so does a critical omission. As this visualization shows, Dorsey's company and customer world models align perfectly with the Tang planning department. His intelligence layer corresponds exactly with the execution ministries, but the overlap reveals a glaring absence in the Silicon Valley model. Dorsey's architecture entirely lacks an equivalent to the Menxia Sheng, the Tang Dynasty's dedicated review department. The Menxia Sheng existed solely to audit drafted policies. They held structural veto power, meaning they could block contradictory or harmful plans from reaching the execution phase, even if the decree originated from the emperor himself. Dorsey's AI layers form a continuous, unaudited loop. If the intelligence layer computes a combination that looks numerically optimal but degrades user experience, there is no independent reviewer to stop the deployment. This exact vulnerability has historically compromised other management-free corporate structures. When companies like Valve and Zappos flattened their hierarchies, they inadvertently removed the implicit quality control checks that middle managers provided, leading to internal friction and eventual reversion. If an AI-native organization builds a system that only plans and executes, it invites the same feedback loops that cause flat organizations to fail. Structural review isn't optional, it is a required safety valve. The developer community is already building mechanisms to patch this architectural flaw. A highly starred open-source project called Edict explicitly implements the Tang Dynasty's governance model as a multi-agent AI orchestration system. This diagram outlines Edict's framework. It runs 9 specialized AI agents, but the vital component is a review agent modeled directly after the Mensha Sheng. This agent has absolute authority to reject outputs from planning agents and structurally force them to revise their work. The contrast, mainstream frameworks often allow multiple AI agents to chat freely and self-organize. At scale, this unconstrained communication frequently breaks down, causing the agents to enter endless hallucination loops or drift entirely off topic. Edict solves this by treating the review mechanism not as a feature toggle, but as the foundational architecture of the logic pipeline itself. Edict's traction in the open-source space indicates that future AI-native companies will be built on strictly governed execution graphs rather than traditional org charts. Dorsey is accurate in his assessment that relying on human middle managers simply to route information is an outdated strategy, but the Tang Dynasty's historical record provides the necessary correction. The hierarchy itself does not vanish. It simply transitions from a carbon-based biological network to a silicon-based digital one. The mechanical requirements of operating at a massive scale remain static. Any functional system must independently plan, review, and execute, regardless of whether the components are Roman soldiers, imperial scholars, or artificial intelligence algorithms. When you examine the Roman cohorts, the Tang Ministries, and modern multi-agent frameworks, you find the same organizational blueprint continually re-emerging across history. The most durable AI-native organizations will not be flat. They will be rigid, multi-layered systems equipped with an embedded constitutional power to say no.